watching Ioannidis talking sports.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Ioannidis here with yet another Washington football team video, and in today's video I'm coming on here to recap Washington's day 2 of minicamp. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, in this case our Washington football team. We're so close to 3,000 subscribers. I know we can get there in no time with you guys' support. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So Washington, like I said, had day 2 of minicamp, and so we're going to kick off today's video by talking about Benjamin St-Juste. The guy is balling out today, and shout out to Rihanna Walker for this tweet. She even said and just tweeted that Benjamin St-Juste just did the AI over Tyronn Lue to Terry McLaurin. Ryan Fitzpatrick tossed up a high ball to McLaurin. McLaurin went up and St-Juste swiped it down to force a breakup. Rookie is having a strong day, and he had multiple pass breakups today, and he was just balling out today. And as we knew, this is what his strengths was PBUs. So shout out to my boy Benjamin St-Juste, and he is looking more and more like a lock each and every day. And I know Terry McLaurin isn't going to take too lightly to that friendly competition, but he's going after our number 1 like that. I love to see it, man. Talking about my boy Taylor Heinicke, you guys know, like I said yesterday, I feel so bad that, like, he's not getting a fair shot to be QB1. I know some of you guys may be like, man, I don't want Taylor Heinicke as my starting quarterback, and that's totally fine. I understand that. But I just want to see him get a fair shot because, I mean, I know only a game and a half that he played, but he still showed something, and this quarterback room isn't as good as it seems for Ryan Fitzpatrick to be the clear-cut one, maybe in you guys' eyes, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick is obviously the better quarterback on this roster. He's the best quarterback we have, and I'm not saying that, you know, Ryan Fitzpatrick is terrible, but I just feel like even though Ron Rivera is saying that it's a quarterback competition, he already has his mind made up. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the clear-cut number 1, and I mean, that's not unfortunate because, I mean, I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick is the better quarterback. I just would like to see Taylor Heinicke get a fair shot, and the reason why I'm saying this is because he's making plays, and I know it's only minicamp, but he looks really good. As shout out to Zach Selsby's again, as I always get my news from Zach Selsby's. He says, "Oh my goodness, Kelvin Harmon just caught a bomb from Taylor Heinicke with the receiver running with him on the sideline, stride for stride. The coaching staff was excited for Harmon before his injury. It will be interesting to see what he does during training camp." And once again, not even just talking about Taylor Heinicke, it's really good to see Kelvin Harmon making plays because he's a guy who I thought was going to be in for a big second year. But obviously we know preparing for the 2020 training camp, he tore his ACL. So he's a guy that's, you know, looking to make a roster spot. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's going to be fighting, a guy that's going to have to fight. And in my opinion, is going to have to fight for that 6th roster spot. It's very unfortunate that he got injured because before, you know, year 2, I would have said that Kelvin Harmon was a lock to make this roster. Or after year 2, if he, you know, never got hurt, I would have said he's a lock to go into year 3 with Terry McLaurin and all those guys. But unfortunately, injuries happen, and I don't think he's so much of a lock. But I hope he makes this roster because I really, really like Kelvin Harmon. And if he continues making plays like this, he's going to find himself on the roster. Another news from Zach Selsby, he says, on the first play of team drills, Montez Sweat batted down a pass from Fitzpatrick. Rivera was talking about Chase yesterday, but I'm reminded you that his impact was more than just sacks, about how disruptive these two are better together. So basically what Zach Selsby is saying, outside of the play that we're just talking about with the batted up pass from Montez Sweat, he's talking about, as we know as fans, as we watched them and we know the Washington football team, these guys wreak havoc. They are not just guys that's going to get sacks. They're guys that just because their presence is felt on the field, they're going to disrupt. They're going to disrupt the quarterback's timing. They don't even have to get back there, but the quarterback knows, oh, I got Chase Young right there, I got Montez Sweat right here, I got Deron Payne, I got Jonathan Allen right in the middle, so I cannot hold on to this ball too long. Just them knowing that is affecting the quarterback already without them even touching them. And of course, we know Tez with the batted up pass off Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's what he do, man. He did it all last year. The Pittsburgh game, notably when Deron Payne caught the interception, and the one in the Dallas Cowboys game where he tipped it up and he caught the interception. So we know that's what Tez does, man. So it's not a lot to, really. I'm not gonna say it's not a lot to get excited for, but because it is. But you know what I'm saying? That's what Tez do, man. Tez is a dog, and that's what we expect from Montez Sweat. Another note on the day, it says another nice operation from Fitzpatrick and Humphries, who is who beats his man for a touchdown. I feel like a lot of people forget about Humphries with all the talent at the wide receiver room, but he has been one of the better slot guys for some time. Might emerge as a piece for Washington if Washington relies on him a lot. And exactly what I said yesterday, Adam Humphries is a guy who I think is going to help Washington a lot, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick and him having that chemistry. But I mean, you can't really get mad about Adam Humphries falling in the back, because we're excited about all these young guys. We have Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown, even Antonio Gandy Golden, you know what I'm saying, even Kelvin Harmon. So it is going to be hard for guys like Adam Humphries to really, get some attention. Although I think he's going to be a lock, although I think he's going to be the starting slot to at least to start the season, it's going to be hard for him to get a lot of attention, because we want to see guys like Dax Milne, even though he's a 7th-round pick. We want to see him because they're young. These are the guys that are going to be on the future of this team. Adam Humphries, no offense, but he's only on a 1-year deal. Who's knowing that he's even going to be here next year? Who's knowing that he's even going to be good for Washington? So it's not, I mean, it's not his fault, but at the same time, it's like we're not really caring about Adam Humphries only because we want to see the young guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Adam Humphries is going to get the starting gig, like I said, to at least start the season. Again, Zach Selsby with another tweet says, yes, Heinicke had some awesome moments, but Rivera said yesterday that's a plus for him, is that he knows when to not improvise, and we just saw an example of that. Neither of his options were open, so he wisely threw the ball out of bounds. And another thing that I like about Taylor Heinicke, and like I said, we only have one game of film on this guy, so we really still can't even talk that much about Taylor Heinicke because we haven't really seen him play a full season or even 3 games. But one thing that I did like about him is that he doesn't force passes. You know what I'm saying? If it's not open, he's going to try to get it with his legs. If he can't get it with his legs, he's going to get it out of bounds. And honestly, with a guy like Taylor Heinicke, you have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Although I know he put on 15 pounds of muscle this year, or this offseason rather, he still is a guy that's very small and can't take hits because he's frail. And we know he's, I don't want to say he's injury prone, but he has an injury history on him, you know what I'm saying? And he even just got hurt with having stitches on his face, even though he's fine, you know what I'm saying? But with a guy like Taylor Heinicke, not only is it good to see that he's making plays like that because it's smart, but also he's protecting himself because he can't be taking those hits like that, man, you know? And yeah, so moving on to the next set of things with the Washington football team's training camp. It says they feel like the DBs don't get enough love from the timeline. So here is a video of the secondary going through some drills, and also the secondary was getting hyped because of the plays that were being made. Jeremy Reeves made a great play coming out of his break, and he broke up a pass from Lamar Miller. Jeremy Reeves is yet another guy who I don't want to say is getting slept on, but another guy who I feel like is going to make this roster, and I honestly would love to see him make this roster because he filled in well for DeShazer Everett last year. You guys remember, I talked about this yesterday too in my video. You guys remember when a lot of people were saying, oh, go sign Eric Reed. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nobody at safety no more because Landon Collins got hurt. DeShazer Everett got hurt. Go sign Eric Reed. And Ron very quickly shut that down and said, no, man, we need Jeremy Reeves, or we have Jeremy Reeves. He's been working his tail off, and he deserves a shot. Ron Rivera, great call. He gave him a shot, and Jeremy Reeves took full advantage of that shot, even though it was a short span of time. So I really think that he is a guy that deserves some more recognition. And honestly, with Jeremy Reeves, Cameron Curl, DeShazer Everett, Bobby McClain, Derek Forrest, it's not looking too good for Landon. Like I said, the only thing that is saving Landon Collins, in my opinion, is his contract, man. If that contract wasn't so terrible as to the cap hit that we would have to take, I believe before June 1, it would be like a $26 million cap hit, and then now after June 1, it would be $16 million cap hit. That's very much better, but it's still a lot of money that you don't want to take as a franchise. So the only thing that is saving Landon Collins, in my opinion, is his contract. Now, talking about some of the things Ron Rivera said in his press conference, he said that Matt Ioannidis had a lot of growth and development. He's working hard on the little things that help develop his skill set, and Rivera is excited to get him back on the field. Once again, with Matt Ioannidis, we know, even before Rivera got here, we knew Matt Ioannidis is a dog. He's the guy that's going to hold it down. He's the guy that's the only person on this roster outside of Tim Settle. Tim Settle can also do it too. But outside of those two, as much as I love Deron, as much as I love John, they are not pass rushers from the interior. John and Deron are your guys that can occasionally, get some pressure up the middle, but they're your guys that's going to be run stuffers. You know what I'm saying? Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle are your interior pass rushers. So the Matt Ioannidis coming back is only going to allow Chase Young, only going to allow Montez Sweat to be a lot better and, get to the quarterback faster, because the pocket in the middle is going to collapse. So they come from the outside and easy cleanup as Matt Ioannidis, creates the pressure. Like I said, Deron, John, they can do it occasionally, but this is what Matt Ioannidis specializes in. So it's very exciting to see Matt Ioannidis back out there. You can just see the D-line collapsing once he went down last year after week 3. And I mean, when I say the D-line collapsing, I'm talking as far as creating pressure from the interior. We very rarely did that. You know what I'm saying? We did it occasionally, but with Matt Ioannidis back, it's going to be so much better. And now, moving on, Zach Selsby also said Antonio Gibson just caught a pass from Fitzpatrick over DeShazer Everett. Gibson started team drills with 3 consecutive plays, all resulting in positive games. So there you go, update on Antonio Gibson. I know a lot of people have been concerned about his turf toe injury. I think he's going to be fine, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's detrimental. Now, it is a little concerning that he's still dealing with it and he's still mentioning it, but I mean, I feel like he's going to be fine week 1. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't play him, like my boy Ed Oliver said yesterday. Shout out to my guy Ed Oliver. He said I would not play him in preseason when it starts, because 1, AG is AG. We know he's making this roster. He has nothing to prove. And 2, we just need to preserve him for week 1. Guys like him, guys like Terry, guys like Chase Young, guys like Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, they don't need to play in training or preseason rather. So Antonio Gibson, I think he needs to just get rested. And Heinicke starts off a portion of team drills with a couple deep shots to Dyami Brown. The first one was catched, and the second one was just a little bit out of his reach. So there you go with Dyami Brown and Taylor Heinicke having a connection. Just another pass that was a little out of his reach. Happens, not really too much to get worked up about. And honestly, guys, I'm looking down the timeline to give you guys some notes and nuggets about today's practice. But today wasn't really, that newsworthy or news heavy rather, or at least the reporter I'm looking at, which is Zach Selsby, who always does a fine job, and he did yet another fine job today. But maybe today just was a light day. And here goes a couple more notes. But he says Washington going through some 2-minute drills now. Another nice play from Cam Sims, who made a catch over WJ3, covering him. Cam Sims is another guy who has been balling out sneaky. Yesterday he was balling out like crazy. Yesterday he's making a couple good plays, and now today he's making good plays. Cam Sims is another guy who I believe, and some of you guys may believe he's a lock, but in my eyes, he's fighting for that wide receiver 6 spot. And not saying necessarily he's going to be wide receiver 6. I'm saying he's fighting to be one of the 6 on the roster. You know what I'm saying? And another tweet by Zach Selsby to close out the video. He says, "Yet another good play from Sims. He just made a sideline catch with 2 defenders all over him," and he's talking about Cam Sims. So yeah, another good play by Cam Sims, and he's a guy who I believe can make this roster, and I think he will be one of the 6. I don't know. I mean, let me take that back. I don't know if he's going to be one of the 6 just because of how many wide receivers fighting for that 6 back. Cam Sims, AGG. I know some of you guys already are over AGG, which is crazy to me. I don't know how he's basically in his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, last year was a wash. Then you have Kevin Harmon come back off his torn ACL, and then you have Dax Milne in there, and you still have Steven Sims. Even though a lot of us think Steven Sims is going to get cut, you still have to have him to acquire for. So it's a lot going on into that wide receiver room, but it's a good problem to have. because just a couple years ago, or even just last year, we had no weapons. So today was not as impacted as yesterday as far as the news world goes for us fans to talk about, but still enough to get the juices flowing and get the conversation going. So yeah, man, it's me, boy Ioannidis. Like, comment, subscribe. Help to the Washington football team. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's me, boy Ioannidis. I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped.